So something that I've noticed increasingly over the last decade or so, and maybe this has always been a thing and I'm just now realizing it because I'm becoming conscious, but is that more and more people seem to be kind of afraid of trying something because they're afraid that it might fail, right? Shooting your shot inherently means accepting the risk that it might not work. I know that there's a lot of perceived fear and shame when it comes to the idea of trying something and that thing failing, but I've always felt like failure is kind of a harsh way to look at it, right? Because a failure is only a true failure if you learn nothing from it. If something doesn't work out, but you learn something from it, something you can apply next time, or just you learn that you don't like something, then I don't know, I've always thought that that's not really a failure, it's just the learning opportunity, and it's only really a failure if you refuse to or don't get anything from it, if you don't learn anything from it. And maybe it's the rise of like nonchalant culture, right? Like an aura. Everyone wants to be that nonchalant guy or gal that just has it figured out. Everyone wants aura. You want to be like a real G moving in silence, like lasagna. I think that's really unfortunate because it makes a lot of people, at least a lot of young people, maybe people my age and younger, want to fit into this certain mold that they think makes a cool and successful individual. And that mold is inherently someone who doesn't have any perceived failures. But the reality is that almost no one has it figured out. Very, very few people have it figured out without trying and failing and, making mistakes and taking steps that you don't see. All successful people have tried and failed, sometimes very publicly. Take this channel, for example, right? I'm trying something with this channel. I'm trying something new that isn't my regular content, and it might fail. It might not work out. I might stop doing this in like a week or two, but then is that something to be embarrassed about? I don't think it is. I think I tried something and I either didn't like it or I didn't think it was worth my time, and so I moved on to something else. So many people are afraid of what other people might think about what they're doing, to the point where it stops them from actually doing it. I have had a lot of people in my personal life and people that I know still don't really like or take seriously the fact that I make YouTube videos for a living. Like, I know that is a perception people have. I know some people think it's silly. I know some people think it's not hard work. But if I give those people too much power, if I give the way they feel too much power, then I never would have done this to begin with. And sure, I'm by no means the most successful YouTuber out there, but I'm doing all right, and I really, really enjoy my job. But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't set aside those feelings of initially embarrassment and kind of that fear of what other people think of me doing something that's a bit different. And of course, trying and failing at different kinds of content, I should say trying and learning from different kinds of content, then I wouldn't have ended up where I am. I really wish more people, especially more young people, would apply that mindset because, and I say this as, I'm 22. I'm not old by any means, but you don't realize how much freedom you have when you're younger and how much time you have ahead of you to try new things and to fail. You don't really realize that until later, and I'm sure in 10 years I will feel that even more intensely, but I think when you get comfortable with the idea of trying new things, stepping out of your comfort zone, and not necessarily not caring what other people think, I actually do think it's good to care what other people think to a degree, a healthy degree, right? You don't need to go all one way or the other, but I think learning to not care so much about that from a younger age and stepping out of your comfort zone more often makes you a more interesting and respectable person that is more likely to succeed long term. And also more likely to be happy. Like, people can laugh when you try things and it doesn't work out, but ultimately, I think it's much more impressive to have tried something and that thing didn't work than to have just never tried it at all. Let's say you wanted to pursue music. You tried it for a bit and it just wasn't really working out, didn't go where you wanted it to, so you just pivoted and tried something else. I think a lot of people would be very kind of embarrassed about that failure, in quotes, or try and just move past it or never put it out there, never publicize it, not let any of their friends or family know that they tried music because they're afraid of the social, embarrassment or I guess, shame that goes along with people knowing that you tried something a bit more unorthodox and it didn't work out. Even if you don't fail at something, trying new things and not getting it totally right is the stepping stone to getting it right. Like I talked before on this channel and in a lot of places about how much I love animation and doing animation work. And I think I'm decently good at it now, but I wasn't always. I'll have to do a video just going through like a timeline of that work. But if you look at the first animations and things that I tried to make over on the Toad Smoothie channel, like, yeah, it is not good. It's really not good, especially when compared to some of the stuff I can make now. But that had to happen. You know, I had to take that chance. I had to go through that. And at the time I thought it was really cool. I was like, dude, this shit slaps, this is fire. But I think it's just about embracing that journey, right? That learning to do something better and embracing that you're not going to get it right the first time. And people might laugh at you and people might call it cringe, and that's fine. Anyway, I won't ramble about this forever. I don't have a whole lot more to say about this. I just think that it's important for people to feel comfortable trying things, even if they don't work out, and owning the fact that you tried it. Don't worry so much about being like a nonchalant dude with aura. That shit doesn't matter. It just doesn't. That shit's stupid. Try something. Put in effort. It's okay to put in effort. Everyone wants to be effortless, but it takes effort to be effortless. I think people are a lot more interesting when they're willing to try something different, even if it doesn't work out, because ultimately everyone fails. And if someone laughs at you because you tried something and it didn't work, I think ultimately that's just because they're probably a bit insecure about it. They would not want to be laughed at if they tried something and it didn't work. Now, depending on what you're trying, like if you try to do a somersault and fall on your face, that might also be kind of funny. That might be why they're laughing, but I rest my case. I'm gonna get out of here. I got a lot of work to do. Thank you for watching. Till next time.